They reply, let one of us sit at your right and the other at your left in your glory. Well, understandably, Jesus discovers that their request is self-seeking. They want to get ahead of others. They want special privileges. As author and theologian Herbert O'Driscoll says, they think a grand kingdom is coming and they want some payoff and influence. Well, Jesus is angered by their greed, and this is evident in his initial response when responding, "You don't know what you are asking." In contemporary language, he might have said, "Be careful what you wish for." And then comes the critical question asked of James and John. Can you drink the cup I drink, or be baptized with the baptism I am baptized with? Well, it is helpful to understand the Jewish expression, to drink the cup I drink, which means to share someone's fate. In referring to his baptism, Jesus was alluding to his imminent suffering and death, but James and John couldn't see beyond their vision of a grand, powerful realm and didn't have a clue what Jesus was saying. Still, they are caught up with self-advancement and greed, and so they quickly respond naively, saying that they can do what Jesus is asking of them. I believe that there is an important lesson here in that often what we seek after turns out to be what we didn't expect. The promotion which placed us in an unpopular position of authority, the responsibility that ended up with us having to do all the work, or the holding of an office which gave rise to accountability for which we were very unprepared. We all know that it is much easier to second guess and criticize other people's decisions than to have the task of making them ourselves. The church isn't immune from such challenges. Yes, we must be careful what we wish for. At the conclusion of this interchange between Jesus and the two disciples, Jesus makes it clear that the seating arrangement in God's realm is not his jurisdiction. It is God's. And Jesus is not about to undermine God's authority. This brings us to the crucial message in today's reading. The difference between the meaning of greatness in the world and greatness in God's realm. Out in the world, said Jesus, it is true that the great person is one who controls others, the person to whose word of command other must leap, or the person who, with a wave of the hand, can have their slightest need supplied. But then Jesus presents a complete reversal of worldly standards. He spoke of greatness which requires us to be the servants of others. If we have aspirations to be first, then we must be the slave of all. Jesus told James and John that he came to serve. Jesus' model of greatness turned the world's model upside down. not unlike the reaction to Jesus' parables. Greatness does not consist of commanding others to do things for you. It consists in doing things for others. And the greater the service, the greater the honor. William Barclay, a very popular Bible commentator for Novus Ordinance, says, "This is a Christian revolution, a complete reversal of the world's standards. Nevertheless, the world may respect, admire, and sometimes fear a person of power, but it will love the person of love." Well, let's revisit that graphic that we viewed at the commencement of this reflection. Let's not condemn these disciples for misunderstanding. In their minds, they saw a different realm than that of Jesus. They totally missed the point that they were asking to be servants of all rather than senior management. They saw power. Jesus saw service and sacrifice, as the graphic clearly shows. We too are cautioned to be fully cognizant of what we seek or ask for. It may be costly, and in a current day phrase, may well be above our pay grade. Remember the Peter principle? In that we can also rise to the level of our incompetence. And so we return to the original question and title of today's reflection: what's in it for me? The realm of God offers us greatness through service. The gift of oneself is the first and foremost response of discipleship. The great news of the gospel is that God has already given us that which is only God's to give, the realm of God and our place in it. Because it is a gift, God calls us to respond with joy and thanksgiving, to serve as stewards, not owners of that realm, following the example of Jesus, and thus make a real difference in the world. What a wonderful gift. What an awesome responsibility. Amen.
Our churches are very appreciative of your gifts of talent, your gifts of time, and your gifts of financial resources. And at this time, I will ask the offering to be passed. I will also do the announcements. We don't have a lot of announcements because we're in sort of a low period right now. I do think, we have the men's group summer meeting that happens here on Tuesdays. So we'll have one on this coming Tuesday and another one in August at 10:30 a.m. And that's our rescheduling. Other than that, I will just simply remind people that we're obviously in shared service during this summer period. Right now we're here at ESG, and that'll continue through to July, and then we'll switch over to our friends at Lawrence Park in August, and that will continue through till the Labor Day weekend, September the 1st, and then we'll switch over to our normal schedules in September. Generous and loving God, we thank you for the many gifts that you have given us. We thank you for the sunshine and the rain, the mountains and the valleys, the challenges and the gifts, the snow and the flowers. We are grateful to live in your grace. We remember those who are struggling this day, those close to our hearts, those we learn about through the news, those we pass on the street and do not know, our neighbors sitting beside us this day. Be with each of them. Help them to know your love and grace. Help us to recognize your presence among us. Help us to hear your voice in the busyness of our lives. Help us to pay attention to your words all week long. As we make plans, work hard, and enjoy friends and family, help us to remember that we have purpose, your purpose. Help us to always be building up your church, Christ's body in the world. Help us to support, foster, and create faith communities that love the world, asserting that we love our neighbors as we love ourselves. Amen.
just before the benediction and for the benefit of our Lawrence Park folks, this past week has been very sad in the life of our congregation with the death of Ralph Barfoot, whose life we celebrated last Thursday, and then more recent in the last few days, the death of James Rutley Grand. The Grand family are part of the fabric of Lawrence Park Church, and we will celebrate Jim's life this coming Tuesday at 1 p.m. Hence, just to correct the men's group time, we are going to meet on Thursday the 11th at 10:30 rather than Tuesday, given the funeral on that day. It's been a pleasure to join you this morning, to reconnect with my friend Sean back there. We go back a few years in Hamilton. And so thank you to our musicians, to Gordon and our reader, and of course our tech team, wherever they are, somewhere. So just a final benediction on such a beautiful Sunday to be in church. So thank you for coming and being supportive of our collective ministry between Egerton St. George's and Lawrence Park Community Church. We end our worship and go out into the world as followers of Jesus, to live his way, to show love, kindness, and compassion. May the grace of Christ, the love of God, and the enabling Spirit be with you all. Let us go now in peace. Amen. And God bless each and every one of you. And just one more thing. If you find my hearing aid, there's going to be a prize. A copy of my sermon.
What are we looking for? What are we looking for?
I was in two places.
Yeah, what does it look like?
This one, the small one.